Have you ever felt the weight of being underestimated? The sting of being overlooked? The silence in the room when your name wasn't called? If you've ever had to clap for others while wondering when, or if, your turn would come, then this message is for you. Because there will come a time in your life when you find yourself standing alone, with nothing but a dream in your heart and doubt in every direction. The people you thought would support you will stay quiet. The ones you believed in might turn away. And the voice inside of you will start to ask, can I really do this? And in that moment, you have a choice to shrink or to rise, to prove them right or to prove to yourself that you were never meant to live small. This isn't just a speech. This is a call. The call to the ones who've been dismissed, doubted, disrespected. A call to those who have something to say, something to give, something to become, even when nobody else believes in them, especially then. So today, we're not just talking about how to win, we're talking about how to win when everyone doubts you. Because when you do, when you rise from the shadows they tried to keep you in, not in spite of their doubt, but because of it, you become a force no one can ignore. Let's begin. There comes a time in every dreamer's life when the world gets loud, when the voices outside start to echo louder than the whisper within, when the doubt of others tries to crawl its way into your spirit. And in those moments when everyone seems to question your potential, your purpose, your path, you have one sacred responsibility: to silence the noise. You see, winning doesn't begin when the spotlight hits you. It begins in the dark, in the quiet, when no one is watching. It begins the moment you decide to believe in the truth of who you are, even when no one else does. That is where the real battle is won. Not out there, but in here, in your heart, your mind. The noise. It will come from everywhere. From family who say they love you, but can't see your vision. From friends who want to protect you, but don't understand your calling. From strangers who don't even know your name, but still feel entitled to speak on your destiny. The world will try to tell you what you can't do, who you can't be, what you'll never become. But none of that matters if you know who you are when no one is clapping for you. Silencing the noise doesn't mean you become deaf to criticism. It means you stop letting it define you. It means you learn to listen selectively. It means you take in only what helps you grow and let the rest fall away like dust in the wind. Because not every opinion deserves space in your mind. Not every voice should have authority in your life. This is the moment where you must learn to build a sanctuary within yourself. A space where your spirit can breathe, where your dreams can stretch out their arms and take up room, where your vision is not subject to the approval of others. That inner sanctuary, your inner stillness, becomes your protection against the chaos of the world. When they doubt you, let them. That's not your business. Your business is to keep moving, keep building, keep believing. Some people won't understand until the results speak for themselves. And even then, some still won't get it. But you're not here to be understood. You're here to be aligned. Aligned with your calling. Aligned with your truth. Aligned with the version of yourself you were always meant to become. So when the noise rises, rise higher. When they shout, whisper back with action. When they say, you can't, you say, watch me. Because winning isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. And that begins the moment you decide to trust your own voice above all others. There's a kind of power that doesn't come from privilege. It doesn't come from connections or applause. It doesn't arrive wrapped in a trophy or stamped with approval. No, this kind of power is born in fire. It's born in silence, in heartbreak, in betrayal. It's the power that rises when the world tells you no, when life pushes you down, when you find yourself flat on your back with nothing left but your breath. And even that feels fragile. But here's what I know: pain, when handled with grace, can become the most powerful teacher of all. Because here's the truth most people won't tell you. The doubt of others will sting, yes. It will bruise you. It may even break you open. But that opening is not your ending. It's your beginning. The very pain that was meant to destroy you becomes the foundation of your power. The ache becomes your awakening. The wound becomes your wisdom. You don't just bounce back. You rise different, wiser, stronger, unshakable. It's easy to feel small when people count you out. But pain has a way of showing you who you really are. Not the version you show the world, but the one who sits with the tears and keeps going anyway. the one who fights for peace in the storm, the one who doesn't need validation to keep showing up. When people doubt you, let that pain touch you, but don't let it define you. Let it pass through, not settle in. Then pick it up like a torch. Let it light your way. Use it to sharpen your vision, to ground your voice. Let it remind you of your why. Every painful word, every moment of being overlooked, of being underestimated, it all becomes part of your story. And it's the story that will inspire someone else to rise too. What the world calls pain, the soul can turn into power. And that kind of power, it doesn't fade with time. It grows, it builds, it echoes. And eventually, it silences every doubt that tried to stop you. There will be days when the weight of other people's doubt feels unbearable. Days when every step forward feels like a battle. When the path looks blurry and your feet feel heavy. But there is something that keeps you going through the fog, through the fear, through the fire, and that is knowing your why. Your why is your anchor. It's the quiet reason that lives beneath the surface. It's not the kind of thing you shout on stages or post online. It's personal. It's sacred. It's the truth that no one can take from you. When people misunderstand you, when they mislabel you, when they mock or minimize your efforts, your why is the only thing that keeps your spine straight and your head high. Because when your why is strong enough, the how reveals itself. When you're rooted in purpose, doubt can't shake you. It may sway you, but you won't fall. You may slow down, but you won't quit. Purpose becomes the compass when the world tries to turn you around. It's not about proving anything to them. It's about staying true to the promise you made to yourself. Maybe your why is your children. Maybe it's the little version of you that still lives inside. Maybe it's the community that's never had a voice. Or maybe it's simply that you know deep down you were meant for more. Whatever it is, hold it close. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Let it rise when everything else is falling apart. Why? You stop asking for permission. You stop looking for approval. You move like someone who is already claimed by their calling. That kind of clarity. It's rare. It's powerful. And it's what separates the ones who last from the ones who only dream. So when they doubt you, when they ask, who does she think she is? Don't argue. Just smile and keep moving. Because you already know you're not chasing success for applause. You're walking in purpose. And when you walk in purpose, you never walk alone. The higher you rise, the quieter it gets. That's a truth no one tells you in the beginning. Everyone wants the dream, but few are ready for the solitude that comes with it. When you choose to live a life that's different, a life that defies expectation, you will, at times, walk alone. But let me tell you something, solitude is not punishment, it's preparation. When everyone doubts you, sometimes the universe will remove the noise for you. The phone stops ringing, the invitations stop coming. People stop checking in, not because you've changed, but because you've started becoming. And not everyone is meant to come with you into your becoming. You'll have moments when the loneliness feels heavy, when you crave a voice, a hand, a presence that says, I see you. But here's the miracle in the solitude: it forces you to see yourself, to see what's broken, to see what's beautiful, to see what's been buried under all the opinions, all the masks, all the noise. In solitude, you stop performing and start listening. You hear the voice that's always been there, beneath the fear, beneath the self-doubt, your voice. And once you hear it, really hear it, you can never unhear it. That's when you start building differently. You speak with more intention. You move with more purpose. You begin to lead yourself. Let others doubt you. Let them walk away. Let the silence stretch out. Because what they see as rejection is often divine redirection. You are being pulled away so you can hear more clearly, think more deeply, heal more honestly. And when the time comes to return to the world, you will return new, whole, grounded, unshaken. Some of the most powerful chapters of your life will be written in rooms no one else enters. Don't rush out of them. Embrace the solitude. Because you are not being abandoned, you are being anointed. There's a quiet kind of confidence that doesn't shout, doesn't argue, doesn't need the stage. It just moves. It builds. It shows up, and eventually it speaks for itself. When you're walking a path filled with doubt from others, the temptation is to explain yourself, defend yourself, to try and prove your worth to people who were never meant to see you clearly. But the truth is, your greatest rebuttal isn't in your words, it's in your work. Let your work speak. Let your consistency be the conversation. Let your discipline do the talking. Let your integrity echo louder than any gossip. Because when the room is filled with people counting you out, the only thing you need to do is keep showing up, not for them, but for the dream, for the version of yourself who refused to quit. People will talk, they will speculate, they will assume, but they cannot argue with results. They can dismiss your dreams, but they cannot deny your growth. They can ignore your words, but they cannot unsee your transformation. That's why it's so important to stay grounded in the work. Stay focused. Stay building. Stay becoming. And here's the thing, the process isn't always glamorous. It's lonely, it's repetitive, it's often thankless. But every hour you invest, every skill you sharpen, every step you take in private becomes part of a public testimony that nobody can take away from you. When the results arrive, and they will, they won't have to come with an explanation. Loudly, clearly, powerfully. And those same doubters, they'll go quiet. Not because you silenced them, but because your work did. So don't waste time trying to convince people of your worth. Don't shrink to make them comfortable or shout to be heard. Just do the work and then watch the work speak. And when it does, it'll roar. We live in a world obsessed with instant results, instant success, instant approval. But real meaningful transformation doesn't happen in a flash. It happens in layers, in seasons, in silence. So if you want to win when everyone doubts you, you have to do something radical. You have to trust the process. It won't always make sense. The steps won't always be in order. You'll have moments where it feels like you're moving backwards, where nothing is working, where all the effort seems invisible. But what looks like delay is often divine design. The process knows what it's doing, even when you don't. You may not understand why the door didn't open, why the opportunity slipped through your fingers, why you keep hitting walls. But sometimes what feels like rejection is really redirection. Sometimes the no is just protection. Sometimes the waiting room is actually the training ground. The process will ask you to be patient when you want to run. It will ask you to trust when there's no proof. It will strip away the old you so the new you can rise. And that part will hurt. It will stretch you. It will make you question everything. But don't you dare give up. Because if you trust the process, one day you'll look back and realize every single thing had purpose. Every closed door. Every unanswered prayer. Every person who walked away. That all taught you something. Built something in you. Sharpened something within you that you would have never found in ease or comfort. This is the real test. Can you trust that where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be? Even if you can't see the full picture yet. Can you walk by faith, not by sight? That's what makes you unstoppable, not just talent, not just grit, but trust. The kind of trust that says, I don't know how it's going to work, but I know it will. Keep building. Keep showing up. The process doesn't forget. And when it's time, it will all come together in ways you never imagined. That's the beauty of it. When the process delivers, it always delivers bigger than the dream. When you're surrounded by doubt, especially from people you love or respect, there's a danger. And that danger is forgetting who you are, shrinking into someone else's version of you, living under labels that were never meant for you. But if you want to win when everyone doubts you, you have to make a powerful, life-altering choice. You must define yourself, not by their opinions, not by their doubts, not by your failures. You define yourself by the truth that lives inside of you, even if no one else can see it yet. Because if you don't define yourself, the world will. They'll call you too much, too ambitious, too sensitive, too loud, too quiet. They'll try to put you in a box to fit you into their comfort zones. But you weren't made to fit in. You were made to stand out. And the moment you begin to own that unapologetically, everything changes. This isn't about arrogance. It's about authority, owning your story, standing in your truth, saying, this is who I am, and I'm not shrinking to make you more comfortable with it. It means you stop looking in the mirror through someone else's eyes. You stop measuring your progress by someone else's timeline. You stop allowing the words of people who gave up on their dreams to define the limits of yours. You have to say to yourself, I know who I am. I know what I carry. I know what I'm called to do, even if no one else understands it yet. Because your destiny was never a conference call. Not everyone was meant to hear it. When you define yourself, you stop chasing validation. You stop waiting for permission. You become the author of your own identity. And that power, that clarity, it's magnetic. Eventually, the world will adjust. But first, you must adjust your mindset. Stop asking, what if they don't believe in me? And start asking, what if I finally believe in myself? We live in a culture that glorifies the grind. That tells you to keep moving, keep pushing, keep climbing, no matter what. But let me tell you something that's not said enough. You can't hustle your way out of hurt. If you want to win when everyone doubts you, yes, you have to work hard. But first, you have to heal. Because what's the point of building a life if your soul is still broken? What's the point of success if it sits on a foundation of pain you've never processed? There is no trophy big enough, no paycheck large enough, no applause loud enough to quiet the wounds you refuse to face. Healing isn't glamorous. It doesn't get posted. It won't go viral. But it is the real work, the inner work, the work that allows you to rise, not just fast, but fully. Because the truth is, you can win on the outside and still feel empty inside. That's not victory, that's survival. And you were not born just to survive. So take the time to sit with your story. Unpack the disappointment. Confront the betrayal. Feel the grief. Mourn what you lost. And when you're ready, not rushed, not forced, then you rise. Not with bitterness, but with wisdom. Not with armor, but with awareness. That's what healing gives you: clarity, peace, power. The kind that doesn't come from proving others wrong, but from knowing you've made peace with your past. And when you heal, you hustle differently. You stop chasing for validation and start creating from authenticity. You stop grinding to feel worthy and start building because you know you already are. You become grounded, not reactive, purposeful, not performative. You stop running from pain, and instead you build with it, you create with it, you shine through it. So don't skip this part. Don't bury your wounds under your wins. Because when you heal first, your hustle becomes unstoppable. It becomes clean, clear, divine, not desperate, destined. Nobody show up from that place. Nobody can touch your energy. Nobody. When the world doubts you, the most dangerous voice you'll hear won't be theirs. It'll be your own. That quiet, sneaky whisper that creeps in after the rejection. That voice that repeats every insult like it's truth. The voice that tells you, maybe they're right. If you don't learn to speak life over yourself, that voice will win. So many of us walk around carrying beliefs that don't belong to us. Words spoken over us when we were too young, too soft, too afraid to reject them. But today, you draw the line. Today, you take your power back. Because your voice, it is holy. It is healing. And it is yours. You have to be your own encourager, your own cheerleader, your own safe place. You have to learn how to speak to yourself like someone you love. Not just when you win, especially when you're unsure, especially when you fall, especially when the doubt creeps in. Look in the mirror and remind yourself, I am not what they said about me. I am not my last mistake. I am not a reflection of their fear. I am becoming. I am growing. I am evolving. I am more than enough, not someday now. Your words create your world. Every I can't becomes a limitation. Every I am becomes a declaration. So choose carefully. Choose intentionally. Don't wait for someone else to affirm you. Affirm yourself. Out loud, often, unapologetically. Because when the world goes silent, and your voice is what will carry you through. Speak to yourself like your future depends on it. Because it does. And if you speak life long enough, with truth, with love, with faith, you'll begin to believe it. And when belief takes root, doubt has no room to grow. Speak life, and watch everything around you start to bloom. At the end of it all, the criticism, the doubt, the silence, the struggle, there is one thing that will set you free: being fully, fiercely, unapologetically you. Not the version that pleases them. Not the version that plays small to stay safe. Not the version that trades authenticity for acceptance. No, the real you. The you who laughs too loud, dreams too big, loves too deeply, speaks too boldly. That version. That's the one they'll try to doubt, to dismiss, to dim. And that's the version you must protect at all costs. Because the truth is, you weren't born to blend in. You weren't built to meet everyone's expectations. You were designed with intention, on purpose, for purpose. And the more you try to edit yourself to be digestible, the more you starve the world of what makes you powerful. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them sit in their doubt. You don't owe them your silence. You don't owe them your shrinking. You don't owe anyone an apology for being who you are. When you show up fully, flaws and fire and all, something magical happens. You start attracting what's meant for you. You stop begging for what was never yours. You begin walking in alignment, not just ambition. And that's where your real power lies. You don't have to be loud to be bold. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You just have to be real. Because real wins in the end, always. So hold your head high, walk in your light, and never, ever apologize for it. Because the moment you become unapologetically you, the doubt, it loses all its power. So if they doubt you, let them. Let them talk. Let them whisper. Let them wait for you to fall. Because while they doubt you're rising, while they criticize you're creating, while they sleep on you, you are building the life they said you could never have. You don't need their permission. You don't need their validation. You don't need their applause to know that you were born for more. Because the truth is, the loudest doubt you'll ever have to silence is the one in your own mind. And once you conquer that, there's nothing that can stop you. The path won't always be lit. The people won't always stay. But if you walk it with courage, if you build it with love, if you carry yourself with fire and faith, there will come a day when everything they doubted in you becomes the very thing they celebrate. So take your story, the pain, the power, the process, and own it, every scar, every stumble, every rise. Because that is what makes you unstoppable. Let them doubt you, you believe. Then go show them exactly why they should have never questioned you in the first place. Your time is not coming. Your time is now.